Hello, and I hope you are doing well. In this lecture, we will be discussing about installation and troubleshooting of control valve. Let us see the content of this lecture. Installation planning. First question that comes is who will do the installation? It can be done either by the plant personnel or by engineering contract. The important drawings such as process flow diagrams, PFD and PID, which are used to locate the installation location of each control valve and also provide very important information like flow rate in normal, minimum and maximum condition, emergency and shutdown conditions, and other critical equipments. Another parameter which is equally important in installation planning is the dimension between the pipe flanges. Since there are valves with different face-to-face dimensions, that is, it could be a long pattern or a short pattern, or in weld and valves, welding is critical. So you need to know the distance between the pipe flanges. Hence, based on the drawing, best location for the control valve to be decided. However, manufacturer recommendation for upstream and downstream pipe length must be considered along with IOM details. Complete inspection at the valve manufacturing location must be done and to be checked with the purchasing document for all compliances. This can be done by appointing third-party inspector or sending quality personnel from the end user side. Complete inspection might include dimensional check, visual check, all material test certification review, testing report review, pressure test witness, surface preparation for painting and painting test. If everything is okay, then the person can give clearance for dispatch from the valve manufacturer. Then only shipping damage care need to be checked at the site at the time of the receipt of the valve. Careless handling can cause unneeded work, hence one has to be sure to follow the IOM properly and the personnel must be trained to handle the control valve. Next is the installation at site. Forklift and hoist are used to lift the control valve for installation. However, mountain accessories are very delicate instruments which needs proper care during installations. Pipe must be flushed before installation of valve. If any flushing to be done after installation, internals of the valves must be removed. Many times we will see that there are welding rods, tool spanners are found inside the pipeline or valves. Hence, flushing must be done properly. In one case, the flushing was done with a specific chemical which reacted with the o-ring of the valve, due to which the valve was leaking after installation. Hence, one must be aware of such chemical compatibility. It is better to speak to the valve manufacturer in case such special chemical is used for flushing purpose. Orientation of the valve is also very important and you must know before installation. Valve size up to 4 inch can be installed in any orientation. However, the best practical is to install the valve with vertical up actuator. Another important point to consider is the service technician must have access to all accessories. Plant air is usually not suitable to be used with instruments. Metal tubing should be bent in such a way to prevent any collapsing. That is, if bending is done at site. Preferred flow direction must be followed during installation. It is indicated by the arrow on the valve body. Once installation is done, testing must be done in order to make sure that the installation was done properly. There are several tests as shown in the slide. First one is the loop test. Let us consider a scenario where the control valve is used for temperature control. In this case, the variable is applied to its sensing unit and signal is sent to the valve and check whether it is performed as designed and desired. That will give us an idea of the loop test. Next is the hydro test. The valve is hydro tested at valve manufacturer location. However, after the valve is installed, one must check the complete reliability of pipe and valve. If improper compression of gasket is there between the pipe flanges and the valve flanges, it may lead to leakages, external leakages. Next is the leak test. This test is also done at valve manufacturer location. However, if the valve is not handled properly, there could be a possibility of leakage. Hence, sometimes leak test is performed to make sure that the same leakage rates are maintained. Next is the welds. If the valve is with butt weld and connection, one has to be very careful to make sure that the valve will not be damaged by the heat generated during welding. Last is the dynamic testing. In dynamic testing, the user must determine how fast and how well the control valve shall respond to the input signal. Also, the valve characteristic is reported in this dynamic testing. Parameters like backlash, time constant, dead beat, dead time, dead zone, dynamic response, hunting, overshoot, resolution, response, gain, etc. are obtained and studied further. Next is the documentation which is required at the time of installation, as shown in the slide, both from the valve manufacturer and also from the end user or EPC. All these documents must be studied and then the installation shall be done. If there is any doubt from either from the valve manufacturing side or from the end user or from an EPC, it is better that it has been cleared before we start the installation of the control valve. Next is the troubleshooting of the control valve. A systematic approach is a must to solve any issue with the control valve. We will discuss few of the common issues encounters and those solutions. There are two types of issues that we are going to discuss. One is the functional and other is the operational problems. First, valve not responding to input signal. This could be, the reason could be the lack of power. So you better check the incoming power signal to actuator and tubing. Power loss in actuator, there could be a possibility, so we need to check the electric wire for electrical actuator. Loss of hydraulic fluid could be there for electro-hydraulic actuator, and diaphragm failure or seal failure for pneumatic actuator. Valve stuck, so there we need to check where is the problem. Is it in the valve or in the actuator or between the coupling of the actuator stem and the valve stem. Second, valve not moving in correct direction. Actuator action is incorrect, so we need to check the order and valve manufacturer specification. Some actuators are field reversible, so you can correct the actuator action and you can use that. Positioner action is incorrect, so we need to see whether the positioner is correct or not. It can be done, you can rectify it very easily. Most of them are easily field reversible, and we can just check the manufacturer IOM and you can correct this issue. Input signal to actuator may not be correct, so you can try to reverse the signal output, system output signal, maintaining the safety requirements. By this we can rectify this problem. Third is the valve doesn't achieve full travel with maximum signal. Actuator can have insufficient travel. Positioner may not be set properly. Actuator not connected to the valve properly. This could be three of the problems. So first, when we say actuator has insufficient travel, we need to check the valve datasheet and actuator nameplate. With these two, we will know whether the actuator has sufficient travel or not. If positioner is not set properly, we can simply adjust the span setting and zero setting on the positioner. If actuator is not connected to the valve properly, if this is the problem, loosen the stem connector between the actuator and the valve stem and adjust the length of engagement of the valve stem. Insufficient power is there, for example, then assure that sufficient air pressure is available for full stroke of the valve through the available pressure gauge at AFR inlet. Cross check with the valve datasheet. Next, valve is erratic in operations. Excessive packing friction. Then better to discuss with the valve manufacturer. Actuator and valve misalignment. There could be a bent stem, actuator not sitting properly, misalignment of the valve and the actuator stem. Check how the valve and actuator are lifted during installation. Many times it happens due to mishandling at the site itself. Problem with the valve itself can also be there. Check for foreign material in the valve. It can be excessive pipe load applied during valve installation also. Valve sticks and does not move. It can be due to increase in packing friction, foreign material, loss of power supply, or failure of diaphragm or actuator seal. These were some of the few functional problems. Now let us see some of the operational problems. First, valve does not pass the required flow. Check the operating flow condition and cross-check with the valve datasheet. Physically check the valve opening at the site. Check the calibration and setting of the positioner, and check with the valve manufacturer if the problem is still there. Second, valve doesn't achieve the required flow rate. Here what we can do is check whether the problem is permanent or temporary first. If it is permanent, then the valve is surely undersized or oversized. If it is temporary, then there is some instability in the valve. Valve is sticking or some misoperations. Third, valve vibrates in service. It could be due to wear, so check the time period for which the valve is operating, and if it is performing well and then begins to vibrate, means wear has occurred. Line fluid, check high pressure drop in the line in gas and flashing in liquid. There might be high velocity. Diffuser can be used in downstream pipe. Pipe configuration, flow turbulence can be there due to piping. Check for appropriate distance to upstream valve, elbows, tees, etc. Fourth, valve is noisy or is creating noise in downstream system. Noise can be generated due to mechanical, hydrodynamic and aerodynamic origin. Mechanical can be due to wear in the trim parts. Simple replace the trim parts. Hydrodynamic noise, it can be generated due to cavitating liquid, high velocity of the liquid flow. Check the type of trim and if required, special trim need to be used instead of the general trim. Third is the aerodynamic noise. It can be generated due to high velocity in gas or flashing. Path or source treatment of noise must be considered if required. Fifth, packing leakage. If that is the case, better to replace full set of packing ring in event of any packing leakage. One must not simply, when we check the packing rings and if found that one of them is not working properly, you must not discard only one but the complete set and replace full set of packing rings. Next, gasket leakage. Replace the gasket. Some of the valve manufacturers are using spiral wound gaskets or graphite with SS filler as graphite material. They provide better life when compared to standard graphite gasket. But in any case, you must replace the gasket. So, here we come to the end of this session. I hope you find it useful. Thank you.